Welcome back to another Hardcore Italians podcast. We got Ron Onesti back in the building, which...
Sorry.
By the way, we're talking about doing another show or podcast on the side, so if you have any good ideas or names for us, we're brewing some up. We were just talking, so drop a comment, let us know. But Ron, what's been going on? What's new in your neck of the woods?
Nothing.
Nothing to say today?
Nothing today. Well, anyway, actually, it's bittersweet. You know, last week we lost a very major person in our Italian American community. Joanne Serpico was our executive director of the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans.
Yeah,
she was actually a 3-time president. Then she became executive director for the last 30 years, and really a driving force, the needle and thread, keeping things together, along with our secretary Marie Palello, who passed away a few years ago. So,
sorry to hear.
Oh, just brutal. You know, we didn't see it coming, and it was, she went to bed one night and then was admitted to the hospital and then gone the next day, and it was just that quick. And, you know, she, a big part of our community, a very big part of the Calabrese community, Casa Italia. She was very vice chair of that for so many years, and just one of those people that's been keeping our community strong, alive, a mentor to me, and she was my right arm when it came to things I was doing in the community with the Joint Civic Committee, our Columbus Day Parade, our Dante Award. I mean, she will definitely be missed, absolutely.
Wow, so they're kind of, she was responsible for a lot, too?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. I mean, you know, she was a real neighborhood girl. Actually, her father was one of the founders of the Joint Civic Committee. You know, the Joint Civic was officially founded in 1952, but there was the Italian Civil Liberties organization that was around the 1940s. And it was her father that was the person that really kept that thing going.
Wow.
And then the Joint Civic was formed officially in 1952, and then she was a part of it the whole time. So, again, you know, one of those last people, Dominic DeFrisco, you know, these people that were around forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
And it's hard to understand or to realize that, you know, I'm part of that class of old people. You know what I mean? I'm part of that. You know, the more and more you like saying, well, the next generation, and I've become part of this next generation. So, and you know, all kidding aside, I take it very seriously. That's why we work so hard in the community. But God bless Joanne. It's to you.
Yeah,
thank you for everything. And she's with us every day anyway. I could hear that. Dolly! She had that voice.
But yeah, she had roots then in the organization. Wow, I didn't know too much. So.
Oh yeah, she roots in Elmwood Park, and just, you know, she had the red, white, and green flowing through her veins, not just red. And you know, now it's another reason to keep this stuff alive. You know? I mean, our parents, our grandparents, the folks that, you know, that did things that we took for granted. You know, the Columbus Day Parade was there every year. Just it kind of happened, right? No, there were people that put it on, and toiled over it, and these are all volunteers. She volunteered. This wasn't a paid position. Wow. So as we have other volunteers in the office. So anyway, we got to keep this stuff going for them, their memories. It's really important. Yeah,
no, exactly. That's what I talk about all the time on the page. Is like, that's, you don't want people to pass on for nothing. Like, they worked hard for something and they cared about, you know, the values and the culture, and if you ignore it, it's a disservice to them, you know?
It is, and to ourselves.
Yeah.
For our families, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And sorry to hear again. It's sad.
It's brutal.
So people are picking it up, though, at the organization and just kind of...
Yeah. Okay. Everyone's been so nice, so supportive, and, you know, they're been appreciative of the work that she did. And there's whatever you need, Ron, whatever you need. So, no, everyone's been great. We've got our monthly meeting going to be at... Rocco Vino's in Harwood Heights on the 29th of May. So that's going to be a big day that we're going to just do a kind of a salute to her. Also on May the 23rd, I believe. You know, it's a really big day for us because it is our Dante Award luncheon. And it's something that we've been really proud of because, you know, we talk about stereotypes in the media. We talk about not being invited to the table when it comes to politics. We talk about that kind of stuff. Well, many years ago, Dominic DeFrisco and a few others began this thing called the Dante Awards, which is named after Dante Alighieri, who did the Divine Comedies and created technically the official Italian language that's used today. And it really brings to light journalists. You know, it's really not just Italian-American journalists, all journalists. It's a luncheon that we invite everybody, whether it's print media, whether it's electronic media, you know, TV, radio, and we honor an individual. And this year we're honoring Phil Ponce, who was with Channel 11 Chicago Tonight many years. He's got his sons in the business, obviously, Dan, and been working in the community as well, journalism. So he's going to be honored with the Dante Award, and that is a luncheon at Galleria Marchetti, which is downtown. We also have a thing called the Dominic DeFrisco Award, the Lifetime Achievement Award. And that recipient on that day is going to be the Vice Mayor of the City of Chicago, Alderman William Burnett Jr. And right now, officially, he is the longest standing alderman in Chicago. And just a wonderful individual, a no BS kind of a guy that's always been with us, Italian Americans, He really he's been a voice for us. He's been a sounding board for us. He's been a shoulder to lean on, and that's why on May 23rd, he's going to receive our special Lifetime Achievement Award at this luncheon. And just go to our website, jccci.com, and get tickets for that. It's really something to see. You'll see the people, all the anchors from the TV stations. You'll see people from radio. You'll see the journalists from the Tribune, the Sun-Times, and Daily Herald, and all these other ones. It's really a cool thing. You'll see some vintage guys too, like Bill Curtis and Walter Jacobson, and people on TV now like Ellison Rosati, and just a few of them. It's very exciting.
It's a fun time.
It really is.
And speaking of the underrepresentation in politics, I know we're talking a little bit about that petition.
Yeah.
That's circling around, and wanted to ask you a little bit about that too, and why that stirred up. And I got an email about it, and a couple of people have been talking about it. You want to explain?
Well, you know what? It's Senator Tammy Duckworth. She is, she's a relatively new senator. I mean, relatively new, and she put out she created a petition because there are individuals. There was I believe a congresswoman in New Mexico, or a fellow senator rather, that put an ordinance of what they're going to put some legislation out there to rename Columbus, the federal holiday of Columbus Day, to Indigenous Peoples Day. And again, and it's a terrible thing because it's got, unfortunately, nothing to do with Indigenous people. Because who wouldn't want to honor them? First of all, they already have their holiday. They have 3 holidays already. But still, God bless them. They have a message to say. They should be honored. They should be mourned. There's stories, I've said it millions of times, that we all were brought up with Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and discovered America. That's all we're all taught.
Yeah.
So the narrative needs to be expanded. Their story needs to be told, but not in exchange or to replace ours. And that's what none of us can understand.
Yeah, I thought last year or something they officially couldn't. Like it was an official federal holiday again, or
no? It's always no. It's never not again. It's never stopped.
Yeah,
and even the president of the United States acknowledges it. Every president has acknowledged it. We get Columbus Day. We get a proclamation. President Biden gave us a proclamation. So it is a federal holiday. Now we're working on a bill in the state legislation in Illinois right now that is going to preclude anyone from not honoring a federal holiday, which is also going to save Martin Luther King Day, Pulaski Day, all these federal holiday things that we're trying to keep alive. Of course, Columbus Day. So anyway, Senator Tammy Duckworth decides to join Illinois and really co-sponsor this legislation. And when we've been in contact with her, and she sends back a letter and says that, I'm here to represent the 60,000 people who identify as Native Americans in Illinois. Notwithstanding and not recognizing or not respecting the over 500,000 individuals who identify as Italian American of Italian descent in Illinois. And
wow, that's a lot in Illinois.
It's a lot. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
As pertains to our last census. And but we've all gone, spoken to her. We've sent the letters, and she just sends back this form letter. Saying that this is important to these 60,000 Native Americans. So again, there's a petition out there. You go to jccia.com, the Franoi Hardcore. You can sign this petition. It shows you how to contact Tammy Duckworth's office. Again, is it going to be a little bit on deaf ears? We believe so, but there's a process in place. So be a part of the petition signing. But we are. I've got a meeting with the Senator Durbin in 2 weeks. And we're trying to meet with her, and she's kind of running from us. So that's your Senator working for you. Senator Tammy Duckworth, who's not a friend of our Italian-American community, unfortunately. And you know what? She's a military hero. We know that she lost an appendage fighting for our country. And we want to love her.
Yeah.
We want to support her. We want to believe in her. But, respect should be a mutual thing. And she's definitely not showing our Italian-American community in the United States, not just Illinois, the respect that they deserve and we deserve.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a problem.
Did you ever think about running for anything in politics?
I run from politics. No,
you never thought of trying to be a senator or something like that? President?
President. I'll take that just to shut these people up. Absolutely. No, you know what? I mean, look, I love it. I love the people part of the things.
I mean, you're very involved in it. You seem like you would be able to step in and know what you're talking about and doing. I was curious if it ever crossed your mind.
Yes. So my campaign manager, right here, we're going to announce my candidacy for school board. No, I don't know that to be a politician. God bless them. Anybody, even I don't care what party. I don't care what programs. I mean, from that standpoint, I have respect for all politicians, all elected officials, no matter who they are, because they take the time to put their family at risk, their careers at risk, their own safety at risk, to foster what they believe in, and represent a contingency. A constituency that they believe in. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, whether it's socialist, libertarian, Democratic, Republican, I respect everybody who to that degree. Now, the policies, and how they do things, that's a whole nother thing. But it's especially in this environment. I mean, I can't, God bless those who actually want to be police officers. Yeah. God bless those who want to be elected officials. I mean, you read the paper every day. Who in their right mind would want to be a police officer or an elected official? Yeah. But there are those, and God bless them. So for me, I would rather stay in the community. Yeah. I don't do this to get elected. I don't do this to make money. Believe it or not, people think I do. Believe me, if anyone there thinks I make money off the Italian-American community, even though we do shows, I just do it to keep the culture alive. We'll talk about a show that I'm involved with Zucchero. Won't make a thin dime on it, absolutely. But, and I never have, because it's hard to sell shows to the Italian community with, just from Italy. But I want to keep Italian music alive. But it's something that I believe in, and I don't know about politics, man. That would be a job. It would take my eye off keep my eye on the ball of just keeping our culture alive. That's what I'm all about.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, it just came to my mind. I was curious, but it makes sense. I mean, and it seems like even if you are elected to something, there's always, and I don't know too much about how it works, but there's always like processes and procedures. You can't necessarily do everything that you want to right away.
You get elected, your hands are tied. You got to watch what you say. Well, some people, they don't go by that, that's for sure. 49% of the people don't like you, don't even know you, but they don't like you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? 49, 48, 47%, whatever it is. They right off the bat, they hate your guts. I'm like, you can even, I mean, just from this being president of Joint Civic Committee, we got a lot of people that are in favor of what we're doing. There's a couple people out there that always like to be hateful. It's, you know what, Mike, for me, it's just, I'm just so tired of the hate. Yeah. It's just like this whole thing about indigenous people and don't hate on us. Hey, let's all get together, and that's why we want to get together, indigenous people. We want to help you tell your story.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't take ours away. So to me, people are starting to get used to, are starting to get sick of hearing about it. I know I'm tired of talking about it. I really am.
Yeah, I know. And to me, it's America. I mean, we're a country of immigrants, and every ethnicity should just be respected and appreciated. That's what makes America America at the end of the day. So. Well, I feel you.
You believe that. We believe that. But, again, people are against and fighting and protesting. Let's support. We talk about stereotypes in television and Sopranos and Casino and all that stuff and Godfather. Of course, we're trying to fight the stereotype of the Goomba, of the goon, of the low low class, low educated. The way they portray women sometimes is a low class situation. Every ethnic group has got their stereotypes. So it's for us. We want to battle that. But one way of battling that is there's two ways of battling. You can sit there, protest, have your signs, try to create havoc, try to hate, try to double the hate, or let the positivity overcome the negativity. Yeah. And that's what we're all about here. Let's be positive. Let's talk about our culture. Talked about music earlier. Zucchero is one of my favorite. If you've never heard of Zucchero, Zucchero is the guy who actually discovered Andrea Bocelli. He wrote the song Miserere. That he actually wrote it for Pavarotti, who is a very good friend of his. But you know how they do that is they write a song, then they find somebody to record it on a cassette tape at the time, and then they present it to the artist, and if he likes it, then he'll record it. Okay. So this gentleman, Zucchero, decided to ask this blind piano player locally in his hometown, would you record this so I can give it to Luciano and see if he'll record it? Yeah. Which he ultimately did record it later. And when Luciano Pavarotti heard this cassette, he goes, I love the song. I will definitely record it one day. But the person who sang this, he should record it.
Wow.
He recorded it, and it was on Romanza, Andrea Bocelli, bam.
Wow. Wow.
Eric Clapton's favorite performer, B.B. King's favorite performer, Bono, Sting. People just love this. Joe Cocker loved Zucchero. And he's gotten to be a very good friend. I've been to his house, and wow. His house is not too far from mine in Italy. And his shows, it's a party. It's a great time. So whether you understand Italian or not, but the music is so cool. It's so much fun. Everybody's dancing. And we're having it. It's on May 16th at the Copernicus Center. And we've got a 20% discount. It's Zucchero20 is the promo code. So just go to oshows.com. That's the letter O, shows.com. Get you all the information. But you got to come not only to have a great time, but remember, these people from Italy will not come, these performers. If we don't have these full houses, they're not going to come to America. So we need it to keep our culture alive musically. So if we want to keep these people coming who are these big stars, because this guy sells out 30,000 arenas, 30,000 people arenas with nothing, you know. So it's a big deal that he's coming here. May 16th, oshows.com. Come see Zucchero. And the ticket's only $40 to $75. Less than 20% discount. It's worth it. Get a bunch of people out there. It's a Friday night. It's a Thursday night. Get a bunch of people and come out. Zucchero. I'm telling you, I promise you, money back guarantee, one of the best nights you'll ever have.
And what's nice, too, is you said, like, you don't have to speak Italian to enjoy it,
no.
One. But two, I wanted to say I feel like listening to Italian music's a good way to start learning. I know everyone's interested in learning more Italian, and they don't teach it in schools right now anywhere. So I feel like music and television and all that stuff they make is a good way to start feeling connected to it and learning a bit about it.
Well, for example, Latin music, okay? There's people, they love going to salsa nights and dance nights, and how many of those people actually know Spanish? I mean, really, I don't. I mean, you know, but we love to salsa, merengue, have a good time. It's the same thing. People don't realize that Italians have that music too. People think, you know, who are not familiar with it, it's all opera, where it's all something that they don't understand, you know. No, man, it's great stuff. You know, if you ever look up Domenica Insieme, which means Sunday together. Yeah. It's Pat Capriotti's show every Sunday.
Yeah, I went on once.
Oh my gosh, the videos.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to check that out. I'm you know, when we're there on his show or I watch it on a Sunday, and these videos are so much fun, and the music's amazing. You know, just like American music or Latin music, Italians are really big on music. So you got to and having a show that's inexpensive. It's not downtown. It's at the Copernicus Center, which is on Lawrence and Milwaukee. It's totally affordable. It's all of us are going to be there. It's a great time to really understand what Italian pop music is all about. So if you're into it, you got to come to it. It's a great time.
I remember, too, about 5 years ago, I saw Ivolo live. God. And it was like, and I didn't really know any Italian. Now I know a little bit more, but back then I really didn't know anything, you know, and I went and saw him, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever been to. It was awesome. They're
those
really
guys,
good.
I brought them to Chicago for the first time. They were like they're like my little brothers now. We keep in contact. I first brought them to Chicago. They're 14, 15 years old.
That's crazy.
They look nothing like how they look now. It's really amazing, their transition.
Yeah.
And they've really grown into international superstardom. I mean, you know, when they come to America, they sell out. We do the shows with them. But when they go to South America, when they go to other parts of Europe, it's like Elvis is in the building. It's crazy how they're being, you know. But we just had Matteo Bocelli a few months ago, which is Andrea's son, and again, a spectacular superstar wonderful individuals. So, the younger crowd, the younger music, the pop music is coming alive.
Yeah.
And that's why to see these things is a really good experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
it. It's cool. That's being passed down too,
Yep.
the music. So
Yeah.
love it. And speaking of Italy, why don't you tell us about that one? You have a meeting you're going to in Parma?
Yeah, well, we're taping this now. I'm leaving the next day, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Whatever that is, whenever
cool.
we air this. But, there's a thing called Cibus. Now, if you know Italian, cibo is food in Italian, C-I-B-O. But Cibus is an international Italian food festival. I shouldn't say festival. It's a trade show.
Okay.
It's over 2,000 exhibitors of manufacturers of Italian foods. And they have other foods from around the world as well, but mainly Italian. And it's in Parma. And if you don't know about Parma, did you ever hear of Parmesan cheese? That's where that's made. Did you ever hear of prosciutto di Parma? I mean, Parma is a food capital.
Yeah.
So I'll land in Rome, meetings there with the Vatican, a few other people, and then I go to Bologna. You ever hear of Bolognese sauce? We'll be doing the Bolognese deal in Bologna, and then I'll be in Parma with all that kind of stuff. So, again, really believe in the food part. Sometimes people in our community are like, what, we're not just about spaghetti and meatballs. We're not just, well, first of all, spaghetti and meatballs is not an Italian thing. It's an American thing.
Yeah.
You can get meatballs, polpette, you can get them. But to put them with spaghetti, they look at you like you got three eyeballs. Like, well, for what? That's almost a secondo, a meat course. But that was a very American thing. But people say, well, we're Italian. We're not just about the food. Yeah, we are. Not just about the food, but I'm telling you.
It's a big part of it.
Well, it is because,
it brings people together.
It does. And the simplicity of it, I mean, Sebastian, or no, not Sebastian, but is it other comic? Oh my God, I forgot his name is. But he, he's got this whole skit about Latin food. You go in, there's beans, vegetables, meat, and a tortilla.
Yeah.
And there's a taco, and he goes, okay, but I'm gonna have what's in a burrito? Well, there's beans and vegetables and meat. And okay, well, I have a torta. What's in it? Well, there's beans and vegetables and meat, and it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So with us too.
It's the staples, yeah.
It's us too. We have, garlic, which is not a lot in Italy, but garlic, herbs, tomatoes, cheese. A lot of our stuff is basic oil, olive oil. But what's done with that? It's an art form. It's amazing, and everybody loves it. It's a number one. It's surpassed the whole Chinese food thing as the number one type of food that.
Oh yeah, there
the
was
world.
that poll that came out and it passed them recently. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's Italian food. It is. Between pizza and Italian food, number one in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'll be out there, and I'll be reporting on that when I get back. So much happening in our community. Again, you just got to be a part of it. Don't just sit back, because if you sit back, it's not going to be here in a month, 2 months, in a year, whatever it is. We got to hang on to it, because everybody else is hanging on to their communities. We got young people like you. God bless you.
Mm-hmm.
God bless her. All these people here that, but... so you are here. So your parents were not born in Italy.
No.
Were your grandparents born in Italy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you got second generation, third generation. They're up to sixth generation Italian now. Every generation gets a little diluted.
Exactly.
So what's it going to be like? It's like music. I'm in the music business, as you all know, and everybody's freaking dying. Or, my world, from the 60s, 70s, some 80s.
Yeah.
They're either dying or retiring, or just not being able to sing anymore. So in 5 years, I mean, I've got probably at least 20 tours this year of this is the retirement tour.
Mm-hmm.
Aerosmith's doing a retirement tour. This is our retirement tour. Like in 5 years, it's going to be nothing but Beatles and Elvis tribute acts.
Yeah.
So that's why, same thing with our Italian. We got to hang on to our culture, our American culture and our Italian culture. So that's why what you do personally, when your family does, what hardcore Italians. It's not just a t-shirt place. I mean, really, it's not. It's perpetuating our culture and heritage the way you guys do it, social media wise, the shirts, everything you do. It just keeps it going. So we love what you do too, man.
Thanks. And just even how you said too, like the spaghetti and meatballs thing. I feel like a lot of people don't know that there's not too much stuff like education or people talk about it. I know you guys do some courses and stuff like that, but where do you recommend people start if they want to get involved, like their very base level? Because we have a lot of people that are they get their ancestry results back and they're 1%, or
Right.
Their last name is Smith and they feel like they can't be a part of things because their last name, and people, you know what I mean? Like, where do people start if they're very, like, they want to get involved, but they feel like there's maybe a barrier where they shouldn't because there's expectations,
Right. No, that's an excellent question, because that's what we at the Joint Civic Committee tried to be, kind of a clearinghouse. I get that call all the time. I'll get the call of people who are a little bit older that are of Italian-American extraction but never got involved.
Yeah.
And now they've got a couple euro in the bank, and they want to do something, or they have time. It's not about money. It's about having time, or they're at a certain place in their career. Like, you know what? I never really got into it. How do I do it? So we'll get the call, and we're kind of a clearinghouse. If, for example, we'll know, like, what's your interest? Well, I love sports. Okay, well, Italian American Sports Hall of Fame. We can put you with that. I really want to understand about Rome, and we'll put you with the cultural center. Your roots. We have roots programs at the Italian Cultural Center. Genealogy. Thank you. At the library at the Cultural Center. So, or maybe where's your family from? Or they're from Calabria. Or there's a Calabrese in America organization. So there's so many. Maybe religious. Maybe a town that you're from. Whatever it is, we can help you, because we have almost 60 member organizations, from social to religious to legal to educational, to all the aspects of whatever you want to be a part of. There's a lot more that you could be a part of without all this commitment, without dollars, without time. Just be a part of it. JCCIA.com.
No, that's interesting, just because, like, you could really start with whatever you're interested in, because there's an organization, or there's a starting point for anything.
And you don't necessarily have to just join organizations either. Just come. We've got festivals. We've got, for example, if you've got young kids between the ages of, let's say, 5 and 12, we've got an amazing summer camp at right around the 4th of July for 2 weeks, 10 days. And my daughter went through it, and she's 19 now, and and it gave her an appreciation of her culture. So if you want to do that, we have a few spaces left, but it's an immersion situation for young kids.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to get involved, and not, we're all so busy. You don't necessarily have to come to meetings every time, or be on committees, or pay a lot of money. Just come to one of these events, the Zucchero Show. Yeah. Just come to the Zucchero Show. That's a big deal.
Exactly. So you can have fun with it and just get involved, and everyone's welcome, which is cool.
Patronize your favorite Italian restaurant once a month. I mean, that kind of thing, just to be a part of the community, be a part of the culture.
Exactly. I love it. Cool. Feel like that's a good place to end. So
it's a good place to start.
Yeah. I love it. That's awesome. All right. Thanks again for coming by, and
my pleasure.
Have fun in Italy tomorrow.
It's going to be tough. But I'll figure it. Being in Italy, surrounded by food, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Well, if you need someone to sub in for you, let me know.
I'll give you a call. Good to see you, man.
All right. You too.